Hello, everyone, and welcome to Roll for Crit. I am Jonathan.
I'm Will.
And I'm Ivan.
You know me and Will probably from our regular appearances hosting Roll for Crit for the past almost 8 years now. We figured out it's been a long time. Ivan, you've probably seen or heard at least on our podcast, and he's popped up in streams and videos here and there. He's our producer and editor, and the three of us have gathered for this special announcement. If you are part of our Patreon page, or if you're a regular listener to our podcast, then you may have already heard at least part of this announcement. But for everyone else, I will give it to you right now so you know 100% what's going on. Myself, grammatically, I always never know which one to say, Jonathan, as well as Ivan, have made the somewhat difficult decision to step away from Roll for Crit for the foreseeable future. So that from now on, from the point forward of about, say, mid-April, with some exceptions here and there, you will not be seeing me on camera anymore on the Roll for Crit channel, and you won't be noticing Ivan's handiwork behind the camera or tinkering with the editing of the footage and such. We are going to be stepping out. Will, who I will throw it to in a second, is going to continue with the channel, but I will at least speak for myself. I think I kind of also, what I'm about to say goes for you mostly as well, Ivan.
You're my word man.
I'll be the word man. That it's simply, as I said, 8 years is a very long time, and I think we've come to a point in our lives where, for different business and personal reasons, we have decided this is the place to part ways. We've survived a pandemic doing YouTube channels. We've had a long journey of having a store and being on YouTube and going to conventions and all this stuff. And this has just been the time and place where we feel it's right to step off the train and move on to other things. And we can kind of maybe talk a little bit about what that's going to be like going forward. But the channel is still going to exist, Roll for Crit. It will look maybe a little bit different than you are used to going forward. But Will over there, he's gung ho. He's a diehard. He's not giving up. He's sticking around.
Yes. I mean, like we said, there's plenty of different reasons. And right now for me, this is still something that brings organization and joy for me. So I'm going to keep doing stuff both in the review videos, and you'll still be able to catch me on Twitch doing plenty of weird things. For now, the podcast is probably going to come to the end because I really feel like that doesn't work as well without two people discussing things back and forth.
You can just monologue it.
We're trying to figure out a way to have Will talk to himself, but that's
no, we don't want that.
We don't want that happening. Sorry.
Yes. So if you are a podcast listener, that's the official kind of status of Roll for Crit, the podcast, which we only started rebooted the podcast officially about a year ago, and I'm pretty proud of all those episodes. The last episode will be this week. So you'll be able to hear that with all three of us on it. It'll be another in-depth talk of all the news, Kickstarters, regular stuff that you've come to expect. And if you're a Patreon member, there will be another extra long bonus podcast as well for this month. And the Patreon's still going to have the Discord where hopefully we'll be hanging out in still, and we'll be putting stuff out. But some of those details maybe have yet to be finalized, so you have to stay tuned and see exactly what shape things are going to take in the future. But yeah, I think, Will, right, you're going to focus mostly, from what I understand, on, like you said, streaming and the review content.
Yeah, that's probably going to be it. Maybe I'll do some quick news things. We'll see. Obviously, this is a big transition period, so things will change. Of course, the Patreon, we're going to change up some of the stuff there as well. So, stay tuned and you can see what I do and how I mess around with things.
Yeah. But, before we go any further, we've got to say thank you to everybody who has watched. It means a lot to us, and we super appreciate all your viewerships. We were never the biggest board game channel out there, but every little watch and every listen and every patron and every comment always helped and meant a lot to us. As I was saying, we kind of were taking a trip down memory lane. We've been through a lot of different things.
Because this is something that we've built literally from the ground up, from our first set in the other room to building this entire brand new studio that you guys have been watching forever.
Yeah, and we've had tons of weird shows. We started off with just video podcasts, and more specific, we had playthroughs, and then we just did reviews. Then, of course, we added the Twitch streaming. Jonathan did a ton of Resident Evil there.
Resident Evil.
And of course, the conventions.
Convention coverage. Yeah.
We looked up when this appeared, the beard.
Yeah. Fortunately, my head was shaved throughout the entirety until you never had to see that
What?
transition. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. This is.
I don't look up.
Yep. That's what that is. I'm much taller than you. People don't know when we stand up.
And we also want to thank the people who helped us along the way on the back end. People who do our music, people who were with us at the very beginning.
People who took a risk on sent us games for us to review, and people who, even when we became bigger, would still want to hang out and talk to us on our podcast.
Right.
Yeah. Any publisher or developer, whoever sent us something or had us look at something or who we forgot to look at something, of course appreciative. And we'll name some names like John Fio, who does our theme song and all the variants of it over the years. All of our friends who have come and been played on camera and things over time. Former Roll for Crit helper Neil Sani, who was around and did a lot of the early stuff with us. Especially again, when we used to be a store, we used to have video. I mean, we still have videos. When we had podcasts, then we went away from podcasts, then we went back to podcasts. There's been a lot of transitional stuff that's happened. So it's been a real roller coaster. And some of you out there have been with us like every step of the way. I mean, I'd like to. Maybe if I try to name every comment I can remember, every commenter, but there are some, you know who you are, that I know. I've read those names over and over and probably mispronounced them. People and other YouTubers too that we've gotten to be friends with. People like Our Family Plays Games and Shelf Stories and plenty of other like people who've been guests on our podcasts and things that. It's been great to get to know. So it's kind of it's like a. It's a little awkward because it's a farewell for us, but there's still more coming from Will. So there's a transitional period. But
I think that's the big thing. It is just we're all in our own places in life, and right now that both of you have decided, just as I decided that this is still good for me right now, that there are different places for you guys to go as well, and it's not some terrible like drama. It's not nearly as interesting. It's just that's life. It's 8 years.
Right. We're still friends. We still have game night all the time. So,
until the next time Battlestar comes out.
Right. Then
yeah. The friend thing for me is it's still up in the air for me. I'm not sure yet, but it's been a long time. It's a huge chunk of our lives. We're still going to keep doing stuff. If anyone out there is interested to find our stuff online, Ivan, tell people how they could follow you.
Oh boy, you can follow me on Instagram. It's Ivan Hahn or Ivan Hahn Photos. I'm also do reviews of snack foods. It's The Snack Guy on YouTube, and I do mini nature documentaries. It's Destination Relax, also on YouTube.
Yeah.
So please. Comment, like, subscribe, that whole thing that people on YouTube say.
So there's places for that. We'll have links to the stuff in their YouTube description right here. And if you want to check out my stuff, I have no plans to jump to another, YouTube channel just right away. I'm not joining the Dice Tower or anything like that. But
you didn't get that phone call?
Not yet. I'm still holding out hope. But I have a newsletter you can find where maybe I will write some stuff about board games. Sometimes I write things about video games or movies over there. I've also started writing for the Nintendo blog, Go Nintendo, or sometimes I'll do some video game reviews as well as articles, maybe some news posts. And I have my own weird YouTube stuff going on and streaming stuff. If you go to jonathanestis.com, which is my personal site, or just follow me on Twitter @Quince. I'll post all kinds of stuff for there if you want to keep following that. So that's how you can keep up with the two of us if you need to find if you just need to know what we're up to in our lives.
If you want to see our pretty faces, we're still online.
And I'm sure there will be, I feel like in some form or another we've had internet projects since we were 10 years old. I'm sure I will pop
These
up.
two were together much longer than I was.
We were making YouTube videos before YouTube.
That's true. Google Video back in the day, or just a Flash player upload or something. So I'm sure that will continue in the future in some form.
Right.
But this avenue is coming to a close for us. But again, it's too hard. I feel bad because part of me does want to just, I should have prepared a list of names of every commenter that's ever commented. But if you leave a comment on this video, 100%, I will respond to it. Hopefully, assuming it's a kind thought. I will read it and I will thank you personally
And I do need to thank my fiance for, well, he actually built the streaming machine that he's still using today. So thank you, Danny,
There you
for
go.
being our unofficial IT guy.
Yeah, that's
I
another.
guess.
Danny has
That's-
definitely been behind
Yeah.
the scenes of many of our streams, getting technical.
You've seen him on camera for our live streams.
Yes, technical bugs fixed and playing games with us as well. Yeah, plenty of things. Anyone who's played an RPG with us in a stream.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
There are too many people to thank, but we're really really grateful if you're one of them who's watched us. And yeah, like I said, it's bittersweet for me because it's been a long time, but it's a new chapter. It's a new
Yes.
chapter in all of our lives. So
Exactly.
so it's fun for that reason. And again, don't be alarmed. There are still some Kickstarter previews as well as some how to play videos that I'll still be appearing in probably over the course of the next few weeks, maybe a month. So don't be alarmed. The ghost of me will pop in a few more times, and you'll see that on the channel too.
And
Until I get the hologram working.
And you'll, I guess,
That's gonna be good.
podcast I'll be on. That'll be probably my last.
Yes, the
thing.
last podcast this week. So you'll definitely want to hear that if you want to get a last audio dose. We'll have more time to stretch out and talk about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for everyone, to those who tuned in, to those who commented, to those who helped us be playing some of these games over and over so we could talk about them, or just appearing on either our 24-hour streams or just our regular streams. It's been a lot, and it is a lot. It's been a lot, and like I said, I'm going to continue with it, but both Jonathan and Ivan are both going to grow and continue in their own ways, which I really, please do check them out in those things because they have still a lot of talent. So please check them out there.
I'll take that compliment.
It's also going to be nice that for a lot of people, they didn't get to hear your movie and game things because I was behind the Patreon podcast. They get to see that now.
Yeah, some of that stuff will be creeping out. Other mediums. So we actually do stuff besides play board games
Right.
sometimes.
Wait,
Sometimes.
I don't.
Only some. Okay. Ivan's exclusively board
I've been
games.
locked in the studio since we've started. So
All right. Before this runs too long, thank you again, everybody. Leave your comments with any of your thoughts, and stay tuned to Roll for Crit because there will be more stuff. And still follow us on social and Twitch and all that stuff. I can't say us anymore. Follow them. Follow
the collective
Follow
Roll
the
for Crit
former
us.
we.
Well, no, we'll go with us because it's not just Roll for Crit, you guys, like I said.
Yeah.
Follow us, it just might be multiple clicks.
Right.
That's right. Thanks, everybody, again. And hope you have a great rest of your week or month or life if I don't see you again.
Yeah.
And keep
Bye-bye.
rolling those crits.
Yep.
Is that a good sign off?
I
Go
think that
for it.
is.
Oh, boy. Okay. All right, gang. Jonathan here again. The video's over, but I didn't want to leave. I felt bad. I actually went through and wanted to get a list of names of some of the people, just some of the people who over the years have been instrumental in our success by supporting us, whether it be through Patreon, whether it be a developer or designer we've reached out to and has talked to us, or just a commenter, a viewer like you who's been there with us, some of you since the very, very, very beginning. So I'm going to read through some of these names for you, starting off with all of the patrons that we've had since we launched our Patreon. Aaron J., Aaron Thrihane, Amy Wright, Atlas Games, Beam Me Up Kitty, Bill Warren, Brian Kovach, Brian Wells, Brimney, Brian Smith, Christopher Deanda, also known as EarthFat, Christopher Mason, Cogito Ergo Meeple, Daniel Hand, that's right, the Daniel Hand, Domagoj Davidovich, sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, Dr. Murdoch, Falcon Ash K, Fernando Martinez, Gregory Everett, Gwen Neuhauser, Hoser 40K, Jeff Klein, Joe Vigo, John Dassa, Cass Shell, Kelly Haitana, Kelly Windsor, Kevy B, Luke L, Mark Scheuerman, Matt Miller, Michael Hopkins, Natalie Jackson, Nathan Cochran, Old School Gamer, Pacey, Patrick, Randall Weeks, Richard Cardenas, Rico Cordova, Scott Armstrong, Simon Fontaine, Stephen Finnerty, The Rizzo, Toby O'Hara. There's a lot of overlap, of course, between our patrons and frequent commenters, but some other names that I could remember from over the years that would crop up again and again. I also wanted to include A87 Kamui, Brainy Smurf, Freddie Duran, I'm Done, It's Over, Cam B26, Kareem Thalgard, Ken Shockley, Lotter Winner, Love in Paint Creations, Marcel the Archibald, Matt D, Miklos Fitch, that's right, of Our Family Plays Games, Obsidian Sirius Blackheart, Patrick Brophy, Raphaelis13, Refresh Damon, Replica 63, Ross Konopaski, Ryan McLeod, Sealed Seffing, Shane Anigans, Tapcat, The Ernie for SS, The Zilla, Tony Bowers, and Warpaint. I'm sure I mispronounced some of these names, but let that not detract from how much I have enjoyed interacting with all of you in various ways over the years. And finally, here's a list of a bunch of names of people who we have had as guests on our podcasts or have allowed us to interview them at conventions or online, maybe even sent us some games. And I'm just so appreciative that all of these people took the time out of their schedule to allow us to, honestly, to use them as content and to help us out. And really just generally, all of these people have been awesome to us. Alex Jarabek of Cherry Picked Games, Amanda Panda, Becca Scott, Ben Sobine, Breeze Grigus, designer of Aegis, love you Breeze, Casey Macbeth, Chris Batarlis from Everything Epic, Christina Rouse, Christopher Bedell, D. Brad Talton. Some of these people we've interviewed and they probably don't remember that we interviewed them, but I'm thanking them nonetheless. Dan Campbell from Hobbies and Happiness, Danny Standring, Danny Lowe, Dominic Crappyshatz from North Star Games, Eric Slauson, designer of Monstrosity, Vertessa Elise, Jeff Engelstein, of course, Ignacy Chevacek, one of my all-time heroes, Isaac Vega, Isaiah Vallejo, Jamie Jolly, good enough to put us in as promo cards in the upcoming Oathsworn Into the Deepwood. Jamie Stegmeyer, of course, from Stonemeyer Games, who's been awesome sending us games and helping us out over the years. Jason Perez, as aforementioned, of Shelf Stories. Jeff Beck, Jeff Kanata, another one of my personal heroes who interviewed us, or we interviewed him, I should say. Jeff Kornberg, Jeff Sayadek, Jim Morgan, also Hobbies and Happiness. Joey Vigor, who's also a patron and a great game designer. Jonathan Franklin, designer of Bar Pig. He's been awesome with us over the years. Justin Kempinen, Jules Najuk, also from Cherry Pick Games. Kelsey Danger, Lindsay Rode, Mackenzie Franklin from Side Game LLC, Mandy Hutchinson, Mara Johannes Graham, Marty Connell, one half of Rolling Dice Taking Names, Mary Flanagan, and Max Seidman is coming up. I'm going to put them both together, both from Resonim. They're really awesome, both of them in their own right. Max Salamanowicz, Mick Fitch, that's right, he's in there again. Nick Bentley, Ruel Gaviola, Sarah Erickson, Sarah Shaw, Senfeng Lim, Starla Fitch, Stephen Bonacore, this guy's been awesome to us all the time. He's the best. Steve Finn, aka Dr. Finn, Suzanne Sheldon, Tim Chewin, Tim Fowers, Tim Riel, and Tim Vernig. 4 Tims, love them all. Todd Rowland, Tom Vassell, never met him, wasn't a guest on the show, didn't interview him, but we did email him and he was very kind in responding, but scheduling didn't work out and we didn't make that podcast episode work. But still, you got to thank Tom Vassell. He's in the mix. Tony Galati, Tony McCree, also from Rolling Dice Taking Names, and Travis Reynolds. Everybody here is either a developer or a YouTuber or a podcaster or sometimes all three. Somebody who has been kind enough to be a part of our Roll for Crit experience. And these aren't all the names of those people. There's many more who have sent us games over the years. But between these folks and our patrons and you guys watching right now, I just wanted to give a final thank you and at least acknowledge some of you by name, and everyone else, if I didn't name you, you know who you are. I hope. And if you don't, leave a comment below and let me know who you are, and I'll remember it for next time I leave Roll for Crit. So on behalf of Roll for Crit, for me, Jonathan, and Ivan once again, and for Will, thank you everybody so much for all your support over the years. And once again, keep rolling those crits.